Welcome to Building Fortunes Radio. Make sure you check us out at buildingfortunesradio.com. Along with our marketing partners, we're here to help our PM Marketing Network Lead customers build their businesses and make the world a better place. At Building Fortunes, we know how much your business means to you and the people important to you. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world. Now on to our show with your host, Peter Mingils.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingils here. You're listening to us on Building Fortunes Radio. That's www.buildingfortunesradio.com for those people that are new or maybe first-time listeners, or maybe you just have a really bad memory. My name is Peter Mingils, and we do this radio show every Monday evening that we can at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time with a great friend of ours. His name is Robert Butwin. Robert and I have been around the industry for a real long time. And we are also actively involved in different trade associations, and like the Distributor Rights Association, the ANMP, and then also the MLMIA, and now the Social Networking Association. Well, on one of those radio shows, or one of those conference calls rather, board calls that we were having with the SNA, I had brought up that, I've been doing a lot of work on social media, and I realized that the anti-MLM crowd is very vocal, and they have very large audiences, and some of the things that they mention are valid about reasons why someone would be anti-MLM. However, they are so powerful in their messages and in their reach, and unfortunately so lopsided that they probably are alienating people that could do network marketing from their powerful messages. And I said, that's not right. So what we need to do is we need to have people that are associated with the industry, that have had life-changing experiences in the industry, to be able to share those stories to kind of counterbalance some of the negative and the criticism. So although it might be deserved in certain areas, it certainly shouldn't be the reason why somebody doesn't do network marketing. And when I hung up on that SNA board call, immediately Robert Butwin called me up, and he says, let's do something about this. And I said, let's go, Robert. So that's how it all gets started, because Robert's a go-getter, has always been. As long as I've known this gentleman with all levels of respect, this guy has always taken action and been very positive about our industry. Well, I will share with you, tonight he's got a really special guest. And this special guest I'm not going to introduce, only because I think I've been trying to get her on my radio show for like forever. And again, the only way I get him on my radio show is Robert's usually the one that gets him. So having said that, I say that playfully. But this guest that we have on our radio show is somebody near and dear to my heart, because she has actively gotten me involved in a whole bunch of things relative to this industry, and has been the beginning of the beginning of the beginning for a lot of people in network marketing as well. So Robert Butwin, thanks for being here.
Super. I love being here every single Monday night, because this profession, this industry has done so much for myself and so many other people that I know. And the lady that I'm going to introduce, I know that, she, like myself, was very successful in the business world before she got involved in this industry. Once she found this industry, she has been what I like to refer to as a servant leader. She's a true professional, somebody that I love learning from and want to listen to tonight. So with that, I want to introduce Sandi Cohen. Sandi, we appreciate you being here, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say and some of the life-changing aspects that it's had with your life and other people's lives that you have mentored over the years.
First of all, I want to thank you both from the bottom of my heart. Two of some of my favorite men in this profession of network marketing, and it's even hard to believe how long we really know each other, because it's like forever. I was just on Facebook, and somebody said, well, what do we really need to do to help you? And you know what my answer was? Stop the aging clock. How can you do that? I mean, because I blink. It's Monday, and then I blink again, and then it's Sunday. So time goes by so quickly, and it's so sad when people aren't living with joy and with gratitude. And it is sad that so many people have a true unrealistic view of the profession of network marketing. And often I'll say people typically are negative on what they're not up on. And I think it was interesting. I ran into a professor at Bethany College. And I'm going back maybe 7-10 years ago. And he, too, had the opinion that network marketing wasn't a real business model, that only people at the top made the money, and he counseled his students to avoid it. And someone challenged him. And he did a very in-depth study and now teaches the whole business model at Bethany College as an option for curriculum for people to really understand our profession. And I think what has happened with the internet, the World Wide Web, when the three of us involved in the profession of network marketing, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter. I thought I was high tech when I had a fax machine and I had fax on demand. I thought I was hot stuff and Eddie got me an IBM Selectra electric typewriter. I didn't think it got better than that, 30 years ago, but we've come a long way. And I think when people look at the profession, the one thing I always talk about, you can't dispute what the government has put in place for people who have a part-time home-based business. To me, this is the most important thing we can educate people, because we're really educators and we're problem solvers. We identify what are people looking for that have a job that they may or may not love. Most of the people I talk to really would love to be doing something else. And we offer professionally not only huge tax advantages legally, if you work a part-time home-based business just 7 to 10 hours a week, not a day, and you have the same tax advantages as a Fortune 500 company. And one of my good friends, and yours as well, both Robert and Peter, is Sandi Cohen, who's a tax attorney who trains other tax attorneys and a former trainer for the IRS. Doesn't get better than that. And these laws even apply in Canada. So, what I try to do is educate people. In fact, Sandi says on one of the videos that I use, you have to be brain dead not to have a home-based business, just so you can keep more of the money you're making and be able to set aside tax-free for your kids' education, for their car, their weddings, whatever it may be. But when you talk about naysayers, my Eddie was one of them. And I'm going back about 27 years ago, and I convinced him to purchase $8,000 worth of water filters. Now, we're going back like 27 years ago maybe, and we put them in his 5 pharmacies. And I thought, what a perfect place for people who come in and pick up their prescriptions or whatever they're coming in for, to educate them on the horrors of tap water. $1,000 worth of water filters that we eventually had to give away to Goodwill because we couldn't sell them at any price. And Eddie waved his finger at me, and both Robert and Peter know my honey, and he is the sweetest guy on the planet, except when he gets mad. And then smoke is coming out of his ears. And he waved his finger at me, and he said, don't you ever mention network marketing again. It does not work. So what did I learn from that? Well, I learned that obviously maybe I didn't choose the right product or company, or for sure didn't understand how to make money. And for years, I never brought up network marketing again until we went through an 8-year legal battle. Ed had 5 pharmacies. I had a multi-million-dollar medical and surgical supply business, with my specialty being pediatrics. Was part of the state association, the national association, worked with Senator John Hines on the Committee for Aging. I was a pioneer in all of this, and we serviced Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. We sold the business in 1986. So would you agree, listeners, nobody wakes up one day and says, oh, I think I'm going to get into the profession of network marketing. There's usually a serious reason why you're looking for change, why you're looking for something better. And we went through an 8-year multi-million-dollar lawsuit. Philadelphia happens to be one of the worst in the country. It took us 8 years to get our day in court. Just like television. I mean, I never missed an episode of L.A. Law. I even watched them over and over again. And if you ask me any legal question, I think I'm an attorney because I never missed one of those episodes. And just like TV, we spent 2 days selecting a jury. And it was a Friday afternoon. We finished about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I can see this still so vividly. The judge stood up and threw a stack of books on the floor. And, of course, we were all startled, like, what the heck is he doing? And he shouted, counsel, in my chambers now. And they came out about 30, 40 minutes later, and here's what he said. He said, the Cohens have been harmed enough. I am not going to go through a lengthy, expensive jury trial when they will never understand what happened. And, of course, this is 8 years later, and they went out of business 7 months after the litigation started. So he pierced the corporate veil. They even stole $1 million of our receivables. So, in the end, we were dead right, dead broke, and $450,000 in debt at the age of 52. And we lost everything. We lost the 10,000 square foot home, the Rolls Royce, the stretch limo, the English houseman, the cook from Grand Cayman, all gone. And we couldn't even pay the electric bill and the phone bill at the end of the month. And the only reason they did not shut off the electric was because we were now taking care of my mother with breast cancer and Alzheimer's at home, being diapered, tube fed, and on oxygen. And by law, they could not shut off the electric. Choices. What choice did I have? And a friend of mine who I met said these words to me. Are you going to go back to teaching school? I said, you've got to be kidding. I said, they only pay teachers about $30,000 a year. We need more than that in a month if we're ever going to live to see us get out of debt. And then she said, and she was a very successful realtor, but again, people are looking for different things. She was not looking for income because she was very successful. She was looking for time freedom. And she said to me, because her husband was retired and he was a retired, very high-end builder, and she said, you know, Sandi, there is this platform called, or this business model called network marketing or multi-level marketing, that just maybe if we help enough people, you get what you want and I can get what I want. And that's how it all began many, many years ago. And when I tell you that I banged my head against the wall for 3 years, saying, how in the world do people do this? I mean, I knew how to hire people, give them a job description, you know, performance evaluations every Friday and overtime if they didn't do what they needed to do. We just replaced them. Not so in network marketing. And I couldn't figure out why. Why do so many people want more out of life? Why do they want to stop the struggle or not getting up in the morning with joy, with looking for their day? And it took me 3 years to become a good student. I'm still a student today, quite honestly. I believe in the concept of constant and never-ending improvement, because you never know all there is to know. And it took me 3 years, and I was in 11 companies. And Ed used to say to me, you got to stop this craziness, Sandi. You just can't crack the code on this. And I said to him, Ed, I promise you, I'm going to figure this out. And when I do, because I had no doubt, I had no belief, I had the belief that I could do it, because I saw people who couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time making what I call gangster money, and Ed hates when I say that, but anybody making over 20, 30, 40 grand a month is gangster money. And I said, I'm going to figure it out, and then I'm going to shortcut other people's success when I do. and have only been in 2 companies in 24 years, profession of network marketing and the internet, the wild, wild west. Things have changed, but not the fundamentals. It's really about friendships. It's about relationships. It's about trust. And it's about finding out where people are and where would they rather be. And just maybe, if they're willing to commit to developing their skills, I really believe this from the bottom of my heart. I think everyone can live the life of their dreams. And network marketing can be the vehicle to help that happen. So I hope that helps a little bit.
Yeah, no, that helps really. That helps a lot, Sandi. But with that, we need to take a commercial break, and then we'll be right back in 1 minute so we can finish up on this thought and some of the other things. But you've been doing fantastic, and I love the perspective.
We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to Building Fortunes Radio. If you sell a product or service, then you should check out PM Marketing's NetworkLeads.com. Just visit www.networkleads.com. For over 18 years, PM Marketing has helped distributors build their home-based businesses through lead generation, website development, automated email delivery systems, and sales training. If you're looking for a way to increase your skills and increase the number of people that see your product or opportunity, NetworkLeads.com can help. To learn more, visit www.networkleads.com. Ask about their lead management system, capture pages, personalized website, MLM training, humongous blogs, the humongous classified ad network, Building Fortunes Radio, or their webinar schedule. NetworkLeads.com can be your one-stop shop for everything you need. And now, back to our show.
And we are back. Peter Mingils here with Sandi Cohen and Robert Butwin. Sandi with an I, S-A-N-D-I, Cohen, C-O-H-E-N. She's going to have a guest page on Building Fortunes Radio. After this radio show, you'll be able to find her contact information. But I got to share with you my level of contact with Sandi. Sandi was a customer of ours forever ago when we were, in the lead generation business, still am. But Sandi called me up one day and she said, there's an organization that's starting that I think you need to go to. And I said, Sandi, you know how busy I am and how crucial it is for me to be kind of like hands-on the stuff that we're doing. She says, really, you should go there. They're doing something with distributors and distributor rights, and I think it would really help you. And she actually was the single reason why I dropped everything, followed her instructions to go to the Distributor Rights Association meeting, which led to even the reason why I'm here today. So Sandi's huge in that regard. And the other part of this, too, is I don't think I've ever met anybody, and I know she's here, I'd say it anyway, I don't think I've ever met anybody as hardworking, as sincere, as smart, as just really good for the industry as Sandi Cohen. I love her husband, Ed. I mean, Ed's just a great guy. But Ed and Sandi are a great couple, and she has done amazing things with strength to be able to effectively make it in this industry, has made millions of dollars in this industry. And when I hear the story about how she went from the lifestyle that she had to then losing it all, taking care of a sick mom, going through the legal battles, which are mentally and financially debilitating, and then getting it all back and then some, being a multi-million-dollar earner in this industry all over again, and going through the ups and downs and everything else that happens in life, because I've known Sandi for I think it's probably been 20 years. So we've been through kids and accidents and illnesses and everything else like that might happen with the industry. And as a result of that, I consider her a great friend as well. She is the reason why you want to do network marketing, because of people like her. So when people say to me, or I hear people say, oh, those things, those people that are just whatever they are, and they talk negatively, I know they're not talking about Sandi, and I know they're not talking about Ed Cohen. These are unbelievable people that I'd match up in any industry, period, regardless of whether it was MLM or traditional businesses. I'd match Sandi up with anybody, period, flat out. So, Robert, back to you.
Super. Actually, let's go back to Sandi, because I know that she's got a lot more to say and share with us.
Well, Peter, I met you so many years ago, and I knew to lock arms with you, because you helped people increase their skill set. And most of us are not born with the skills of knowing what's required to build friendships, to build relationships, to even identify someone who might be a potential candidate. And you're still doing it today. Extraordinary training and support. So when people plug into you, if they plug in, and then if they practice what you teach, they can't fail. They cannot fail if they're hungry enough and have a big enough why. And I think it's Les Brown or it might have been Jim Rohn who coined the phrase, you gotta be hungry. You have to have a reason to get through the emotional roller coaster, because any business has a roller coaster. I mean, I think back to the days of my med-surg business, and, I get a phone call from a family that a patient died. I mean, there's nothing more final than somebody dying. And, so what did my team had to do? They had to go in the truck and pick up all the equipment. We had to have it re-sterilized. And what did I have to do? I had to go to the hospitals, the doctors, the discharge planners to find a new patient for my equipment. Well, equate that to network marketing, except the people that leave us hopefully don't die. But the point is, every business has its ups and its downs, and its ups and its downs. And as long as you understand the 80-20 rule, I mean, I think about my last company where, we had a team of 700,000 in 51 countries. And we started with facts on demand. And today, with all the technology, and with a fax on demand, with a 6-page fax, and people had to go to Kinko's or Office Max to go pick it up. They had to pay the $6 to pay the fee to get the 6 pages, then call me back and we would talk about it. But and we're going back, I guess it's now 18 years ago, in the first 90 days, maybe a little bit more, maybe it was about 90 days, I sponsored personally 42 people. I didn't sponsor 1 or 2 people because I know the law of numbers. Numbers don't lie. Success loves speed. I sponsored 42 people within about 3 to 4 months. And out of those 42, my percentage was 10%. 4 out of the 42, together we locked arms and built a team of 700,000 around the world. So what's your ratio? Where is your skill level? Are you taking what Peter and his team are teaching and implementing it and messing up and doing it again better and then doing it again better and then doing it again better? Because that's how your skill set gets like a Robert Butwin, because you can't be successful without your skills constantly improving. And years ago, all we had was Peter Mingils. We didn't have, the CDs and the YouTube training and all that stuff. There's an abundance of material. But Peter's training is specific to what we do in the profession of network marketing. And if you don't take advantage of it, shame on you.
Excellent information. Now, I know Roberts has another engagement he has to bug out for around this time. So, Robert, either you continue or I'll continue working with Sandi, but I'm going to leave it up to you.
I'll let you continue because I got to run.
Okay, perfect. So, Sandi, over the years, I know you use your example, and for people that are listening in, just think about it. Sandi went from her and her husband having a millionaire lifestyle, like a real millionaire lifestyle, to then being completely messed up for about 8 years, down to like living in an apartment with a very sick mom, and you took care of your mom throughout that whole thing, and then were able to rebuild here. So that's your story, and then you've been doing that successfully, and you've raised kids based on this industry as well. Do you have any other examples? I know you do, but do you have any other examples you'd like to share with us on how MLM has made an impact on somebody else that you know?
Yeah, my dear friend who actually got me back into network marketing, she jokingly says that's her claim to fame, getting Sandi back into network marketing in spite of my horrible first experience. And she and her husband married about the same time as Eddie and I, meaning forever. And her husband took sick probably 8 years ago with a form of leukemia, but it was not leukemia, but it was like leukemia. And his prognosis was the most 10 to 12 months. And because of what we built together in network marketing, she was able to be his caregiver for 7 years.
Wow.
With transfusions and hospitals and everything she had to do over, because he didn't last 10 months. He actually lasted 7 years for her to be that caregiver that, quite honestly, if she didn't have her income from her network marketing business, she would have lost her home. They would have lost everything. So when you look at what that true recurring income, you have to put in the work, obviously. You know, the one thing I despise when people say, oh, you just get 2 people and magically next week go to the mailbox and checks of $10,000 are going to come popping out of the mailbox. That's not true. It's you know, if you have a job or you've ever worked a job, you probably have to show up to get paid. The same thing in the profession of network marketing. You've got to put in your 7 to 10 hours a week, first of all, for the huge tax advantages. But when I look at my friend who was able to take care of her husband for all those years and her lifestyle was not compromised at all, that to me is true passive income. And there are so many stories like that with you know, nothing's worse than being ill, obviously. So whether it's an ill child, we have very dear friends whose her daughter, I think it was cerebral palsy, maybe it was spina bifida, but her prognosis was not good at all. But they were able to travel and take her to Disneyland and Disney World and do all the stuff that they needed to do before her daughter died. And she actually played a message from her daughter the day she died about how blessed she was and what a fulfilled life she lived to the tune of 16 years old. But that she had done so much in her lifetime with her parents, and they could have never done that for their daughter if they didn't have the income coming in passively that they had built. So we make a difference. We so make a difference. And for some people, Peter, you know, it could be an extra $1,000 a month that keeps people out of bankruptcy, that helps their son with their college loans, because student debts are, you know, those student loans are never forgiven. And many parents today would do anything to help their kids not be saddled with student loans for the rest of their lives. I know I have 2 grandchildren starting college. They graduate June 10th, 2 of them in Philadelphia. And the cost of college, a private university today, oh, my goodness. I said to my son, Scott, who went to Tulane, and, you know, what did it cost us to put you through Tulane, you know, 20 some odd years ago? And we couldn't remember. He said, I don't know, it was about maybe $8,000 to $10,000 a year. That same school today is about $70,000 a year, without housing, without car, without all the rest. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I don't know how the kids do it.
But it is, they're saddled with debt for the rest of their life. So if nothing else, we can help our kids be loan-free for the rest of their lives. If that's important to you, you should look. Yeah.
Excellent information. So we're going to run out of time. So, Sandi, if people want to get in touch with you, how would they get in touch with you?
Oh, that's wonderful. And, you know, for people that just want to ask questions, just call me. My cell phone number is area code 602-363-7801, 602-363-7801. I have a digital media card, which I absolutely love. So in the phone number area, you just put in the number 64600. Where you would put a phone number, just put in 64600, and in the body of the message, just type my last name, Cohen, Cohen, and you'll have a little bit about us, what we've done, what we've accomplished, but most importantly, how passionate we are about making a difference in this profession. And that's why I thank you and Robert for inviting us to join the Social Networking Association, which is a brand new association with a marriage of both the field and ownership. So I'm sure Peter's going to tell you all about it, but definitely go to their website and join and tell them Peter sent you.
There you go. Perfect. Okay, so we are listening to a great friend of ours. Her name is Sandi Cohen. It's Sandi with an I. She told me that 20-some-odd years ago. I always remembered. It's Sandi with an I, Cohen. And Ed's in the background. He's a great guy. Loves to golf. Likes his baseball as well. Love Ed. But Sandi is unbelievable. She's a hard worker. If you're looking for somebody to work with, the other cool thing about Sandi is she keeps up with the times. She's always bringing to me this new technology. Peter, did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see this? And we're getting actively involved in this new e-card that she's using because it is, I run a technology-driven company. I can't build what she's been able to put in front of me on a cost-effective basis. So the reality is she's got some really great products, up with the times, does a lot of stuff on social media as well, and is a great mentor for somebody that's interested, and a great example. Bottom line, a great example. So thanks, everybody, for being here. We're going to have a guest page. I know we're going to have Sandi Cohen coming back, and Robert Butwin has another engagement he's split on, so we are going to be back next week on Building Fortunes Radio. If you go to the Street Smart Business segment on Building Fortunes Radio, you'll be able to hear all of these radio show segments as well. So check them out. We'll see you next time. Sandi, thanks a million. Bye for now, everyone.
Thanks for
You've been listening to Building Fortunes Radio on buildingfortunesradio.com. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the designated Building Fortunes Radio segment with Peter Mingils. Be sure to check out the buildingfortunesradio.com website for our featured segments. It's been our privilege to have you listen in. At Building Fortunes Radio, we wish you the success you deserve and are willing to work for. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world.